All right, hello and welcome to episode 57 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I'm your co-host, Juan Martinez, and to my left or to my right, it's Jacques Slade.
Yo, what up? Welcome to the Too Hard to Pass podcast. We got a good show for you again today. A lot of stuff been happening in the sneaker world. Very possibly, allegedly illegal things happening. Allegedly, things happening in the sneaker world. And there's some other stuff that we that Juan and I have been going back and forth about during the week. So I think you guys are really gonna enjoy this show. You know, barring no crazy news comes up while we're recording this show, which is very possible with the way that things are happening in the sneaker world these days.
Yes.
So let's get into it, Juan. What do you want to touch on first?
I just wanted to say before we start the show, Happy Filipino Heritage Month, man.
I'm glad you acknowledged it. I wasn't sure if you were going to celebrate, but I'm glad that you decided to show me and my Filipino brothers some love. Wasn't sure how you felt about that, and I didn't know if you'd give us that sort of recognition. But thank you.
Yeah. No, totally.
Filipino homies appreciate you.
Exactly. Went to Seafood City this weekend, bought some Joilibee. Celebrated the appropriate way. According to some survey or something, that apparently Jollibee is the #1 fast food rated chain in America at the moment. And I gotta say...
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I have to wonder who answered that survey. Was it just Filipinos who answered that survey and they just put Jollibee on there? I'm like, no disrespect.
Look, Jollibee is good. Like, let's not front like it's not good food. I think everybody can recognize that the food there is good.
And I gotta say, like, I have been very impressed with the way that Jollibee has kind of grown through the years here in the States, because obviously, like, it's a Filipino-based chain, and coming to America, you started to see it like grow. You've seen it from like West Covina and Azusa, the places you would expect it to be, Cerritos and all that stuff. But now you're seeing it at Rancho Cucamonga, Ontario Mills, in LA. And it's not just Filipinos, going there anymore. White people, black people, Latinos, everybody's going to Jollibee now. And I'm just like, wow, that is awesome. And it's funny to me, like, when I see...
we should open one up here in my area.
There's none around here?
Some of the folks in my area. No, there's none around me.
None in the valley? There's got to be some in the valley, but like not near exactly where you're at, probably.
There's probably ones in the valley.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any in Santa Clarita.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let me look it up.
Yeah. But anyways, no, I've just been impressed with the growth through the years and how they've managed to expand, because, the thing with it's funny to me that how, like, when it comes to like Asian food, people talk about Chinese food, Japanese food, Vietnamese food, Taiwanese food, Thai food. Filipino food gets pushed to the side whenever people talk about Asian food, except for Jollibee.
Yeah.
Jollibee is the one that's kind of grown and, like, kind of gotten our name out there in the world. And it was funny to me when I saw like an article, was it like a year or two ago, where like the first Jollibee chains opened in Spain. And I thought to myself, yes, it's revenge season, baby. Oh, wow. It's finally coming back, because we were colonized.
Season.
We were colonized by the Spanish, so we're like, this is our way back in. This is how we get our payback.
This is our way back in to get. This is how we get our payback. That's funny.
So, like, it sucks that we didn't get to go to Spain during the Europe trip. So I was like, but I would have wanted, if we had gone to Spain, I would have loved to have gone to Jollibee, like, chain, and be like, we here now. We gonna take over. You don't even know it. Y'all don't even know it.
We're going to take over with our incredible fried chicken. We're going to use fried chicken as our way in. That's
Y'all
hilarious.
Don't even know. Y'all don't even know Spaniards. But yeah.
I had a slightly racist Filipino moment this weekend.
Oh, no.
I was going to play golf on Sunday. Okay. So my boy Martin hit me, and I played with him a couple times to go play golf. He hit me a couple times. I played with him probably like 5 or 6 times now. But every time we go play, there's like 10 to like 15 other guys with him that are like Filipino guys that are with him that I don't know most of them. I just know Martin and his the other guy, Greg, I think his name is. I just know those 2 guys. But then there's always just a bunch of other Filipino guys that are there as well that come. They go as a group, and they invite me out every once in a while. So on Sunday he invited me out. I misread the course where we were playing, and so I went to a different course. And
oops.
when I got there, I checked in, and then I got to the tee box, and there was a group of like 15 Filipino guys there getting ready to tee off at the time that I was supposed to tee off with Martin at the other course. And so I was like, hey, where's Martin? And they were like, no, there's nobody named Martin here. And I was like, well, Martin said he was playing this morning. And they was like, no Martin here. Come to find out, I was at the complete wrong course, but it was like 15 Filipino guys. And I was like, oh God, what are the odds that they would be teeing off at the exact same time at a totally different course, and it's like 15 Filipino guys. But yeah, I was like, damn, that's very racist of me to be like, oh,
it's
all
okay.
Filipinos.
It's
Martin
okay,
must
man.
be here
You think we all look alike? It's fine, man. It's okay.
Yeah, no, I was like, Jesus Christ. Jesus.
No, it's. I mean, like, if you're not familiar with those people, like, it's easy to, like, kind of goof that up. I mean, you know your friend, but you don't know the other people. It's just like all the faces blend in after a while. Especially if there's 10 to 15, you're like, who do I recognize here? Nobody. Crap.
Yeah, because like I don't really get to talk to him because like I go out with the group with Martin and his group. Like there's usually different people in that group. So I don't really get to talk to like all the other people there. I just kind of see them in passing, kind of like before we start and after we finish. It's like, hey, good round, guys, like that kind of thing. Yeah. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. My apologies to the entire Filipino community for
and on Filipino American Heritage Month, man. Come on now, what are we doing?
I know. That's why I'm glad you acknowledge it. I'm glad you acknowledge it so I can fess up to my mistakes.
Oh man, well, you should have rolled up there and be like, we had you say kababayan on the show this week. You could have been like kababayan or something like that. They could have had a good laugh with that. Yeah, or you could be like, just say Joilibee. They'd be like, all right, okay, he knows. Like he's one of us or something like that. Like, I love Jollibee chicken.
Like, look, guys, I brought Jollibee. Oh God, that'd been terrible.
Oh, that's pandering on like oh God, oh my gosh, like you holding up a bucket of oh God, that's like pandering on like so many different levels. That's like just breaks the brain.
I just want them to like me, Juan. I just want them to like me. That's funny.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, I did not. That was not a tangent that I expected. I thought we were just gonna do like a Filipino thing, and then like it just went there, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm glad I brought it up. I'm glad I brought it up, and now we know. We know.
Now we know. Yes.
Yeah. No. All right. So moving on to the show, Jacques. You mentioned it earlier. There are some controversial things going on in the sneaker world at the moment. There's I believe it's a reseller controversy. It's this shop in Melrose. I guess it's one of those. And they are called CoolKicksLA. And the owner is Adil Shams. And I guess he was like on a whatnot live stream, like doing, live auctions and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, he got raided by the LAPD. And, it's one of those situations where you're like, this seems real. And, the way how it is in the live streaming world now, like when you hear something like that, your first thought is not that it's a real thing. Well, it's a real thing, but you don't think like the people are getting raided for legit reasons. It's more like a prank because, you've heard the stories of like other people, whether it's like playing video games and then like the cops show up. It's because of like a prank call or they're being swatted. The term swatted is like, a commonly used thing. But it turns out it was legit. Apparently, and I'm reading this on the Complex article, Shams was apprehended by the LAPD's Bunko Forgery Agency, which is a division that specializes in cases linked to fraud, counterfeit goods, and other similar offenses. So apparently there's nothing has been charged or anything like that. But the thought is that it's because they purchased fake goods, whether it's sneakers or any other, allegedly. So CoolKicks has, I guess, dropped a statement, and they are saying that they have not been, charged with anything, and whatever they may have purchased was bought in good faith, and if they was fake, they did not know. But then when you start seeing like the chatter on social media, everybody's, when they hear like a reseller is, caught up in some kind of controversy, everybody's quick to say, Oh man, we always knew they were selling fakes. We always knew that they were like,
Yeah.
shady customers. And I'm like, man, so I don't even know who to believe at this point. But it's funny to us, like when we look at this and you see how it's being covered, like Complex is covering it, BR Kicks, all of the blogs are covering it. But for when it comes to like me and you, like we kind of look at it and we're kind of like looking at it from like the outside and it's like, man, why are we getting so caught up in like the whole resale drama? And it's like, it almost seems like it's not worth it anymore, to like go to these shops because it's tough to trust. It's tough to like look at these, resellers and think they're legit and are on the up and up because all of these things keep happening. And you wonder how much
Right.
more it's going to take before the bottom finally drops out and people are just like, now we're done with this. Like, and it's
Yeah.
unfortunate for like the ones who have been around for longer than like, when you think about the Rifts or the Flight Clubs and all that stuff, there's an assumption that these shops are legit. But when you talk about like the more newer ones, the ones that started popping up when sneaker culture started exploding, and they're the ones who are constantly getting caught up in like these controversies, you start to wonder like, what is the tipping point? And, people just stop trusting these resellers. Because I feel like it's getting
Yeah.
closer to that point, I think. As a person who just doesn't participate in it.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a whole bunch of conversations within just this thing here
Yeah.
that I think that need to be addressed. But as far as just like the trust that in resellers, I would agree that that's waning, especially now with the way that a lot of these businesses operate. Now, in this
Mm-hmm.
situation, we obviously don't know the details,
Yeah.
but the thing that I find the most interesting about this is how many people are subject matter experts on something that has no definitive information out there about. Like
Right.
outside of the fact that he got raided and he was arrested by the Bunko and forgery department,
Mm-hmm.
no one really knows what's happening. But if you read any of these blogs or any of these sneaker influencers that are out there,
Yep.
you swear that they were in on the case and they knew exactly what was happening. And then
Mm-hmm.
the other thing is like, if you know that these companies are selling fakes and doing all of these nefarious things, why are you just now being like, oh, yeah, that we knew
Right.
all the time? Yeah. Sure did. We knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one, you don't get any cool points. Like, that doesn't make you like any cooler or any more influential, I guess. Like, all it does is really like, wait a minute, so you knew this all the time and you were quiet about it? Why are you quiet about that? And if this is the case, why aren't more people in the sneaker space reporting on that? Why isn't the bigger sneaker sites talking about these
Yeah.
places selling fake shoes? Like, that should be a bigger conversation piece, and that should be something that they're warning the people that watch their content about. But it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
seem like that's the case. So like, I have so many feelings about this. It's a little frustrating,
Mm-hmm.
especially because I'm on the outside. Like, I don't really deal a lot in the resale space. I look at the price of something for a video, but that's
Right.
about the extent of it. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
I'm not reselling shoes. I'm not doing any of that kind of stuff. So it's really frustrating to see it from my perspective as someone that participates in the sneaker space and tries to do good by the people in the community and the people that choose to listen to me. And it doesn't seem like these other places do that. They're just like, oh yeah, this guy got arrested, and they're here for the salacious part of the arrest, but not the telling the truth, which is, I don't know, it bothers me a little bit.
And it should really like, because, and that's the thing, right? Is like all of these people on social media are just commenting like, we knew this was happening. And we're like, well, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you like talk to like, and we don't want to say names of like, but basically all the blogs. We've
Yeah.
had associations with them, current or informer, but like the reality is like, well, why didn't you tell them? Like, why didn't, if you have actual genuine information and not just hearsay, why don't you report it? Because the reality is like, for people who are not like really into the sneaker, like, they're not in it like every day. They're just kind of like parachuting in and looking at like, what's coming out, or, oh, I missed out on this release. How can I get it for, if I have to go get it on resale? They're going to look to the blogs. They're going to trust them, with some level, because, they're assuming that they have some level of expertise and trust, and like they do the research, and they're going to provide that information. And maybe sometimes they'll link to one of these reseller places, or these Instagram accounts, like, oh, we got this sneaker, like whatever, like a Jordan 11 or a Yeezy or whatever, and we got it from so-and-so reseller shop. And you're looking at it like, oh, this particular media site has X amount, like thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands of followers. So they're probably trustworthy. So they'll link to, that particular reseller and go to them. But then turns out like years later, oh, they're actually selling fakes. And then that same media site will like, intimate that they knew about it, but never said anything. And you're like, what's going on here? That's messed up. And that's why, like,
why are you linking? Why are you leaking to them? Why are you reposting their content? Why are you
reposting your content? Exactly. Like when I see blogs repost, like, because sometimes like I think it's CoolKicks. Like I think they have like videos and they post like, oh, celebrities shop here and all that stuff. And when I see like these aggregator accounts repost that, and that they are into like allegedly a shady game, why are you reposting that? Why are you giving it that traffic, So yes, it's definitely like frustrating when you see stuff like that. And for me, it just creates like this, distrust. And I get like where me and you can kind of be seen as like coming from a place of privilege, because we have been like in a position where we don't have to worry about buying, get participating in resale, because we've been fortunate enough to like receive sneakers from like the brands and all that stuff.
Very true. True.
And then you start to see like, because we already started seeing it, like because of like, the way that the economy is going right now, like there's just all of these sneaker stores, that reseller stores that started popping up during the pandemic era, popping up at all these stores. Like there's 3 or 4 in every mall. Now they're starting to go away. Now there's like 1, maybe there's none even left. And you wonder if this is like the next step towards like only the big ones are left, or only the more established ones are left. And that sucks for like there's a part of me that's like kind of feels bad for like the ones who are doing it quote unquote the right way, who are actually going through like the proper channels, actually like not doing that stuff. But yeah, man, like the more you hear these stories, it's just kind of there goes another one, like the West Coast Joe stuff. That was a whole different kind of controversy. And now you got this. And yeah, man, it's just all adding up to a point where like reseller culture is kind of like starting to fade away, which I guess at the end of the day for a lot of people is actually like good. Let it go away, right? Like I'm sure for a lot of people, like their reaction to this would be good. But there's also, I don't know, like I don't want to say like there's a part of me that's like, oh, that's a little bit of a bummer. But at the same time, it's like, it's like the conflicting feelings really at the end of the day is like, because you feel bad for the ones who are actually doing this is like legitimately, but then you've got all of these like alleged, like right now, again, like the CoolKicks stuff is still alleged at the moment, so we don't know exactly how it's going to play out. But the more you hear these stories, I think it's being covered. Like I saw, like when I was Googling it, like People Magazine actually like posted a story about it. I'm like, it's that big. And I'm like, wow.
And I think that's because I think people like that are I should say outlets like that are posting it because of the celebrity tie-in.
Right.
That's why they're, they feel like they can get, like they're just using it to get clicks, basically. I think most of these outlets take the approach of like, we'll take the clicks, but we're not gonna push any buttons. Like it's a very much like so there would be like, oh, Juan accused of selling counterfeit sneakers, but that'll be the end of it.
Like there's no like follow up.
Yeah, there's no follow up, because they I think a lot of it is just for the clicks right now, not actually educating the community and giving them a better idea of what's going on and providing them with like certifiable resources. It's more of just like, oh, Juan was accused of counterfeiting sneakers, and then they leave it at that. Oh, unless then like, especially if the police are involved, oh God, it's huge. Then it's great. Oh yes, clicks. That's all they see is clicks, because it's the drama. And then once it's resolved, oh, Juan found guilty and he has to pay money. Oh, he has to pay money. Drama. Let's get the clicks. There's not a genuine concern for the community. It's more of a let's sensationalize this stuff and get news. It's almost like TMZ. It's like a TMZ approach where they're very impartial about it, but they speak on it all the time.
Right.
It's similar to like the shoe surgeon urban necessities thing.
Yeah.
Like nobody has anything to say about it, but they talked about all the drama around it, but they didn't really do any real investigating into it.
Exactly.
Maybe I think maybe Soul Retriever did. I know Harry was working on some stuff, so maybe they were able to dig in a little more. But for most of it, it's just like, yeah, let's get these clicks, fam.
Yeah. Full
Let's run these
disclosure,
numbers
I
up.
do work. Yeah, full disclosure, I do work with Soul Retriever on a couple of things. So yeah, again, fairness again, and just transparency and whatnot. So yeah. So
Yeah.
when Soul Retriever gets mentioned, I feel like I have to say that because it's just the right thing to do. But yeah, no. So like I said, we'll see how this all plays out, and if more things come to light, good or bad, we'll talk about it here on the show or on Hard Pass. Like we'll kind of do it from there. All right. Next up on the show, we've got Virgil Abloh, the late Virgil Abloh. His name is in the news because there is reportedly an Air Jordan 1 Alaska. I guess it's being called Alaska. That I guess it was Hiroshi Fujiwara was seen wearing. And allegedly that sneaker was supposed to come out this year. But the thing that is interesting about that is it's an Air Jordan 1 that has a lot of the hallmarks of an off-white Air Jordan 1. To kind of have that deconstructed look. I don't know if it had the tag or not or whatever, but the thing that people really got drawn to are the text on there. Because, if you know the off-white Air Jordan 1s or basically any of the off-white Nike collabs, they've got these texts that are printed on the uppers, on the side panels. It says like care of Off-White, blah, 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 address, Beaverton, Oregon, and all that stuff. But this particular Air Jordan 1 does not say care of Off-White. It says, I believe it says VAA, and which stands for Virgil Abloh Archives. So obviously that set off a lot of alarms in the sneaker world. And, there was already like Air Force Ones, I believe, that have either released or, are about to release that don't have the same like off-white branding anymore. They say care of Virgil Abloh or, VAA. So that got a lot of people like wondering what exactly the situation is. What's the relationship between Nike and Off-White and Nike and the Virgil Abloh Estate? Like Off-White was sold to like a different they have a new parent company now. The Virgil Abloh Estate is its own thing. And it looks like with Nike and Virgil, the Virgil Abloh Estate, it seems like that's where the relationship is. And there doesn't seem to be any relationship with Off-White moving forward. So now I guess, in the future, when we start to see like these off-white look, like, the off-white style that we see, they're not gonna say off-white anymore with these Nike collabs. They're gonna say, or Jordan collabs, they're gonna say Virgil Abloh Archives, which for me, I think is cool. I think, it's cool that Virgil, his name is going to be put on these sneakers instead of his company, his former company, Off-White. Like, I think it's cool that it's going to be, it's going to have his name on it now imprinted on these sneakers forever. And I feel like this is, great. And I also had this thought, and we talked about this on the, before we recorded the show. I think it would be cool if Nike and the Virgil Abloh Estate actually got together and like re-released all of their Off-White collabs in the past, but rebranded them with VAA as in like, Virgil's name. It's kind of like the Taylor Swift situation where like, I guess her masters got bought out from under her and she re-recorded a lot of her like earlier albums and called them like, whatever album Taylor's version, right? So now we get like, the famous Air Jordan 1 Chicago Off-White. Now we get Virgil's version. Instead of Off-White, it says VAA. Now, I can understand why someone would look at that as like, well, that's lazy. But for my thing, it's like, I think it's a great way to honor Virgil. It's a great way to like, put his name on there. And like, when people think about those sneakers anymore, they don't think about Off-White. They think about Virgil.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with it that obviously it's Virgil's mind, but the shoes were literally called like the Off-White Jordan 1, the Off-White, like,
sure.
all, those things. So, I mean, I guess I'm impartial either way. I get wanting to like save Virgil's name and use Virgil's name more than using the Off-White name, especially now that the Off-White is owned by someone else. But I don't know. I guess I'm not terribly passionate about it. I think it's cool to have the VAA as a way to honor him, but yeah, I guess I'm not completely sold either way. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very impartial about it. Like, I want to honor Virgil. Like, don't get me wrong. I think honoring Virgil is the right thing to do. But it's almost like bringing out a retro and they change one little thing kind of thing to me, it seems. Right. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on that one. But I think if it works for the estate, for Virgil's estate, then I guess that's what matters. And I think sneakerheads will flock to it, whether it says Off-White or it says Virgil, either way. My concern is the current state of retro product. More than anything, I think they can release nearly any retro, no matter who's on it at this point. And there's it gives everyone pause, like, maybe. Like, so I don't even know if Virgil's name is enough to push through a Jordan retro product right now to make it really be, at the hype scale of which we've seen before. If anything, right, I would say they need to literally archive it for another 5 to 10 years before they bring out anything from Virgil. That's what I would do. I would hold on to it a little longer to wait for the energy around retro product to grow again. Because right now the energy is waning and it's a tough sell to get anyone to buy. I mean, really any shoes, period, in this economy, but especially when it comes to Jordan retro product, when it's sitting on shelves, which is obviously great, but it also doesn't bode well for the hype stuff to instantly fly off the shelves like it used to.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you're right. I feel you're right. Like, I feel like maybe the right thing to do is to like hold off on these kinds of things. And it's weird to get to a point where like, oh man, like I remember when I was younger, I really wanted those like, Virgil like, those Off-Whites. And I'm like, oh God, they're nostalgic for those. But that's the reality, right? Is like if Nike just takes like the Disney approach and they put like movies in the well, they don't do that anymore because like, who buys Blu-rays now, right? But like back then they would re-release like a Lion King and then keep it like in stores for like X amount of months and then put it back in quote unquote the vault. Now everything's on streaming. None of that stuff matters. Yeah. Now everything's on streaming. That doesn't matter anymore. But if Nike took that approach, then, that Disney took back then, I feel like that could work. Is like put stuff in the vault, don't mention it, don't even do like throwback posts or anything on social media, don't even like bring it up. And then when the time is right, once, obviously like everything comes in cycles and eventually people will start getting interested in retros and, the sneakers that Virgil worked on and everything. Once that cycle comes back up again, and that's when they drop it, and it's like, oh man, I remember when I was younger and I couldn't get those. Now that I am a Gen Zer or whatever the next one is with like disposable income, now I can go buy those now. So bring those back in that sense. So I feel
should wait. They should wait.
Mm-hmm. Like definitely
because they dropped in 2017.
Yeah.
So 2027 seems like at a minimum wait till 2017 to give them give the 10 years.
Right. Or hell, if they want to be super patient about it, wait until 2037. Screw it. Who knows if we'll be there by then? Like, if we'll be covering it by then. Moving on to non-retro stuff, Jacques. The Converse Shai 001. I believe a lot of people said that butter colorway was what was it? The one hit wonder. And it's just like every other debut signature.
Here. Where are they?
Oh. See, this is the privilege that we're talking about. Jacques just has a pair of the Converse Shai 001 just here laying randomly in his studio. To be fair, I was in that position once upon a time, so it's not just me being a hater. This is me like actually understanding the kind of situation that Jacques is in, because I've definitely gone through like moments where I'm like, oh right, I did get that in the mail and I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I haven't unboxed them yet. I'm supposed to be getting the rest of them today.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll do like a full unboxing on all of them.
Is that
like
the butter?
All 4 of the colorways so far. Yeah, this is the first one.
Oh, this is the first one. Okay, cool. Yeah, so a lot of people were saying butter. I think it's called butter.
Yeah, butter. Yeah, butter. First one was called butter. Yeah. So this is the
and then we've got like the Hail Clay, the Mossy Blue, and the Charm Black. So those released recently, and surprisingly or not, depending on who you talk to, they also sold out. And people were talking about like how these shoes are not for them, or, this is trash, or blah, blah, blah. Like, SGA is not moving sneakers. That does not seem to be the case, as they are all sold out. And they are, again, we hate to bring up resale, but seems to be like going for healthy prices at the resale market. So it seems like people are really gravitating towards SGA, because there's a lot of talk before, these sneakers came out. Oh, is he the type of athlete who has like the charisma, the charm, the ability to sell sneakers? Like, is he that guy? We don't really hear much from him. Like, he's in commercials and all that stuff, but he doesn't seem to like have the same personality, the bombastic personality that Nike presented Jordan or LeBron or Kobe and all that stuff. Like, SGA is his own guy. He does his own thing. He has his own style. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, it seems like the Shai 001 seems to be doing well, man. And I got to say, I'm quite happy. Like, in terms of like the shoe itself, I could see myself wearing it 10 years ago. Like, I feel like I've kind of evolved to the point where I'm like, I don't know. Because especially since it's a hooping shoe, I'm like, man, I don't hoop as much as I used to. So it's definitely not, not
Okay.
something I'm going to
Okay.
be, rocking and all that stuff. But, maybe if the right colorway drops, I could definitely see myself rocking them at some point too. But it's not about me. It's about the generation that Shai is appealing to. This younger generation, the
Yeah.
Gen Zers and the youngers. And it's the same appeal that maybe LaMelo Ball has. It's like he has this hold on the kids, and maybe same thing with SGA. He has this hold on like the younger generation that, these older heads and us also don't particularly have like a similar experience, or like, just kind of look at it like, oh, that's interesting, but I don't know if it's for me. But we're neglecting that there's a whole generations now beneath us who are like, yo, man, that's mine. That's my sneaker. That's my jam, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think Shai is going to continue to do well. He isn't like the super crazy personality like we've seen in the past with other
Mm-hmm.
athletes, but I think he's kind of coming into that. I think he'll come into that as the more these shoes sell out, the more Converse deems him worth doing the bigger ad campaigns and getting him out there more. I think we'll start to see more from him. My hope is that this shoe continues to resonate with people and that people really get into it, because it's a good shoe. Obviously, you see it, like, it looks good, and then the colorways that they've done have been pretty nice. It's definitely a design unlike other designs we've seen as far as sneakers go. So it kind of
Mm-hmm.
pushes that envelope as well. So I think it has a lot of really great stuff going for it. Now, whether or not that translates to continued sales, we can infer a little bit from the most recent launch that it's doing pretty well and that people are into it. We'll have to see what that looks like long term, but I'm bullish or bearish. I don't know. I don't, and obviously don't invest very well. Bullish. I'm bullish. I think it's
We haven't been
bullish. I'm
watching.
bullish
We haven't
on
been
this
watching
shit.
CNBC lately, so.
Yeah, my Mad Money, not on my Mad Money. So I'm bullish on this Shai 001, or I'm optimistic about the Shai
Mm-hmm.
001 that it's
Yeah.
going to continue. It's a great low cut shoe. I think this season we'll obviously see it a lot more. Hopefully, we see some other athletes wear it, which I think will help it
Yeah.
as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to see how Converse utilizes Shai and his creativity and his style and all those things to really highlight the shoe. His personality may be a little chill, but I think his style and everything speaks a little louder than that.
Right, right. And the next colorway that's dropping is definitely something that's going to appeal to a lot of people. I believe it's called the Aries Gray, which is a nod to his son, who has like the same shade of like the eye colors, like gray. I'm like, ooh, you got a son with a gray eye color. That's pretty neat. But yeah, no, I mean, gray is going to be that, all everything sneaker for people. It's going to be that pair that people
Yep.
can basically match up with everything. So the next thing is definitely going to be like a quick seller as well. I don't even have any doubts about that, because it's just such a versatile color. Gray is just something that works with virtually anything. Um, so you mentioned that,
Yeah, you can
this
wear
upcoming
that with a bunch of
season,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. No, so this upcoming season, Shai is definitely still going to be wearing the 001. Do you feel like this is a situation where it's kind of like Anthony Edwards, where it's like, yo, man, like we seem to have like good momentum with the 001. Let's keep it going. Let's keep that party going. And we hold off on the 002. I mean, I don't think they would have released it anyways. I feel like they've put a lot of effort into like marketing the 001. I mean, when did they reveal it? I think they revealed it like All-Star Weekend, right? Like they revealed it for the first time during All-Star Weekend, and it took them like months to actually drop the shoe. So I feel like we're in it for the long haul. Like we could see Shai wear this the entire season and not even get a peep about the 002. Like, are we really in this era now?
I think that should be the case.
Yeah. Do you feel like we're really in this era now where like sneaker companies are like, hey man, like we don't have to play by like this, like there's no more timeline for these things. Like we don't have to abide by like the NBA calendar. We abide by like, we look at how it's going, the public's reaction to it, the sales. And if it seems to be like, it seems to be like people are responding to it, why drop the next shoe? Why, like, get people excited about this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Adidas and Anthony Edwards basically drew up a totally new playbook, and now everybody should start following those rules. If you're already on the yearly schedule, great. But I think all the new people that are getting shoes, I think adjusting to a season and a half schedule probably makes more sense. It allows people more time to sit with their shoe, to fall in love with the shoe, to see what the brand can really do design wise with the shoe. I think all of that comes into play. So I would hope that they follow the AE schedule and don't try to do one every single year, especially in a crowded signature space like it is these days. Like the shoe needs to have impact. And I think by doing that every other year sort of cadence, it allows the shoe to have a bigger impact.
Yeah, and we're still on like the monochrome phase of the Shai 001. All of these colors have just been single color monochrome releases. And eventually with SGA, like he's going to drop some multicolored joints on these, and people are just going to, like, I feel like there's so much potential just looking at like, the upper and house design. There's so much potential for like different, styles on it, like even different material finishes on it, I feel. And I feel like there's such a long tail to this that it would be foolish of them to introduce the next thing. Like if they introduced the first shoe, like I said, like All-Star 2025, I think it would be foolhardy of them to like introduce the next shoe All-Star 2026. Like I feel like they should just keep this going for as long as like the wheels are going, and even after when it starts to fall off a little bit, because hey, and also SGA is going to be killing it on the court this season. Like, they're probably going to be prohibitive favorites to repeat, much to our chagrin as fans of the 17-time world champion and one-time NBA Cup champion Los Angeles Lakers. But, you can't knock it. You can't knock it. And if SGA is going to kill it in these shoes and kids are going to see it, they're going to be like, man, like we want these 001s and keep the ball rolling in that regard. So, yeah, man.
I'm all for it. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's an exciting time for Converse.
Yeah, totally. All right, so next topic, Jacques, and I feel like we're kind of like diverging, like kind of doing a different path. We'll take a non-sneaker approach here. So I pitched to you earlier that we should do a Mount Rushmore Plus that has nothing to do with sneakers. I wanted to do a cartoon Mount Rushmore Plus. And the reason why I wanted to do that was because I read this really interesting article on Entertainment Weekly, and the title of it is "The Simpsons Showrunner Defends Making Homer and Marge Millennials, Not Worried About Messing with the Timeline." So apparently, in the current run of Simpsons, which is going on like 30 plus years now, I guess now when they do flashbacks, they show Homer and Marge as teenagers in the 90s. Unlike when we watched The Simpsons, when we would see flashbacks of Homer and Marge, they would be kids of like the 70s. They would wear like bell bottoms, do like the groovy dude, funky and all that stuff. But apparently now, like when they do these flashbacks, Marge is like a teenager in the 90s and she was like a big fan of like Dawson's Creek or whatever. And that apparently is like turning off a lot of like the old Simpsons fandom, because they're like, oh, you're ruining the story, you're retconning it, and like you're changing what we used to really follow and all that stuff. It's like you're ruining my childhood. And man, like I don't think we've ever done this on Hard Pass, but one day I would like to do a Hard Pass where we do like yo, man, can we do a hard pass on the term ruining my childhood? Because it's like, dude,
Yeah.
your childhood happened already. Like, you have those memories. And if like a new creator, and apparently this isn't a new creator, this is like an older, this is like one of the OGs, apparently, like Matt Selman is one of the OGs of The Simpsons. And he's just saying, hey, man, we're trying to modernize the show so that it's relatable to like the new generation. Like, we're not trying to, you know, like the older crowd, like there's definitely still like that older crowd that still loves the show and has been watching it from the beginning. But let's be honest, that's a dwindling population and we have to appeal to like the younger crowd. And that's the way we do it.
Yep.
But for the older crowd, it's like the message is like, yo, man, like that stuff still happened. Like, you still enjoyed the show back then. And
yeah, you still enjoyed the show, and you're old now. That's the reality of it. And here's the lens that I see this through. Marge, Bart, they don't age. The Simpsons don't age. They're the same age.
Yeah.
So if they're doing flashbacks of them to the 60s and 70s, that's going to make them so much older than they appear on the screen.
Yep.
So they've got to adjust that. Like, Bart's been in the, was he 5th grade? I think it is, whatever it is.
I think so.
For 30 years now, 20 years, 30 something years now. Like, come on, guys. So they've got to, I think that's just the nature of the beast. Like, no one expected Simpsons to last this long and to be going on for this long. So they've got to start to adjust the timeline in order to make it seem for it to be correct. Otherwise, you know, Marge and Homer have a 5th grader and they're 70 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Like,
and you mentioned something.
You just got to adjust it.
Yeah. And the reality is, like, yeah, it's exactly. We're getting old, and we're, you know, and I honestly haven't watched The Simpsons since, like, you know, the quote unquote, like the good seasons, right? Like, whatever it was, like 2000, like early 2000s, I think, when I stopped watching. And I still hold those like, you know, those episodes, like, you know, special close to me. And I don't begrudge like a younger generation and they watch, like, it's their Simpsons now. Like, let them enjoy it, right? Like, and I used to be like, but I'm not like, you know, above it. Like, there was definitely a time where I was like a big Spider-Man fan, and you know, I read the comic books in the 90s, and I was like, you know, huge fan and like read all of them. Like, I think there was like a Spider-Man comic book dropping every week, and I bought all of them for a certain time. But then, you know, I stopped reading it, like, you know, as the 2000s rolled along, and then there was like a particular story where I guess like where they made it seem like the Peter Parker's marriage to his wife Mary Jane never happened. And it's like, there was a moment for me that I was like, oh man, how dare they ruin the thing that I grew up like reading? Like, you know, that was like special. Like, you know, Peter Parker was married to Mary Jane and all that stuff, and they went through a lot of shit and all that stuff, and now you're just gonna quote the term is retcon, and like you basically blip it out of existence like it never happened. And, you know, there was definitely a time where I was upset, but then the more I thought about it, I'm like, why am I getting upset? Why is this bothering me so much? Because I still have those memories of, like, you know, those comic books, and like I enjoyed them. But now these creators, they're telling a new story. And as long as the story's good, let it be. As long as they're telling like, if it's a lame story, then, you know, if it's a lame story, then sure, critique it all you want. But if it's well done, well executed, it's a good story, yo, man, and that's the nature of these stories that never end. Like, like, you know, when you talk about like the Marvel stuff, the DC stuff, the Simpsons, like you said, nobody expected that the Simpsons would last this long. They probably figured they were going to be like, what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons at most. We're on year 30, whatever now. Like, they have to change. They have to keep going. They have to adapt. And that's why, like,
and they have to adapt, even just for the jokes to be relevant. They have to change.
Yeah.
And if you change the jokes, you got to change their age, because that age of those people making those jokes or that understand the nuances of that culture are going to be different. Like, people need to realize you don't own pop culture. Like, pop culture changes. Like, you don't own it.
Don't tell that to Disney adults.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Anyway, can we just do our thing and just
let's do the Rushmore. Let's do the Rushmore. Let's do it. Yeah, I know. I feel like the deeper we go into this, the more both of us are just gonna get upset with like people our age who are like clinging on to like and that's the thing is like we still love this stuff. I mean, look at like I'm wearing a T-shirt of freaking Psyduck, and you're wearing a T-shirt of like the Hulk, Iron Man, and Captain America. Like we hold these things dear to our hearts, but we also understand that hey, man, like it's not our thing anymore. Like we just hold on to the stuff that we loved back then, but we're not. If I ever begrudge anybody for liking like the stuff that I love, but it's different, like man, just tweet at me or message me or punch me in the face. Like, dude, I cannot be that hater. I cannot be. Dude, I do not never want to be that hater. So, you guys enjoy what you like.
Yeah, I was gonna say we very easily transitioned to yelling at clouds. It's an easy transition.
And you know where the yelling from clouds came from, right? Like that's a joke from The Simpsons. There's like an old newspaper clip of like Grandpa Simpsons yelling at the clouds. It's like old man yelling at the clouds. And we enjoy that joke. If there's like a modern version of that, it'd probably be like Abe Simpson. He'd be like, it wouldn't be yelling at the clouds. He'd be like yelling at the cloud, like, cloud platform on his phone or something like that, right? So it'd be different now. Like, and that would work. And that would work for like the younger. They would get the joke. If they see the clouds, they're like, what is he? Why is he yelling at clouds? It's more like he'd be like angrily tweeting now. So yeah, man. Yeah. So let's move on before we get more upset with like people our age. So let's do the cartoon in honor of this bit. The cartoon Mount Rushmore Plus. Pew 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 pew. All right, cool. All right, so the categories for today are a Disney property, a Warner Brother property, others, which is basically everything else, an anime, and then a wild card. So it could be a movie, it could be a character, it could be whatever. It doesn't there's really like this is just a free flowing kind of deal here. So if you want to pick like a Disney movie or a Disney character, more than welcome to do that. And again, it's snake draft rules. So I think I went first last week. So you have the honors to go this week.
You said Disney first?
Yes.
Disney first? I'm going to go with Pluto the movie.
Okay. Yeah, I mean like those Saturday morning cartoons or something, like those Pluto, like, when you would watch it like in the morning or something like that or whatever. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Totally. All right. So, since you went with Pluto, like as you said Pluto, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's a dog, and then Goofy's also a dog. I'm gonna go with the Goofy movie. I think we talked about this like in a previous episode. Like I talked about like how people.
Oh, that's what I meant. Goofy movie. God damn it.
Okay, well then you're gonna go to.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well that's the thing is like Pluto and Goofy. That's a whole thing though, man. Is like, wait, Pluto's a dog. Goofy is also a dog. Why is Goofy standing up and Pluto is still a dog?
Yeah.
Dog? So there's like a whole story about that. I think there was even like an episode of Atlanta that covered that whole thing. But Goofy movie.
That's what I meant. But you know what? You take it. You take a Goofy movie. I'll do something else. Go ahead, do your next one, Warner Brothers movie, and then I'll find another Disney movie.
Okay. All right.
Or Disney cartoon.
Right. So, since I'll go with the Goofy movie for cartoon for the Disney category. For the Warner Brothers category, I mean, I just got to go with a character, man. Like I am going to go with I'll go with the Tasmanian Devil. Like he's like in the Looney Tunes and everything. Taz was just such a cool character. He's just a lovable dumbass. I remember having like in the 90s where like all the Looney Tunes would like be like in these like sports affiliated like t-shirts and all that stuff. You would see like Taz in like an Orlando I think I had like a Taz in like an Orlando Magic like jersey and everything, like a t-shirt where he was like dunking and he was wearing like an Orlando Magic jersey. And yeah, man, like it's like I just have like a fondness for the Tasmanian Devil and just go blah, 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 and all that stuff. So just the lovable, adorable dumbass. So for Tasmanian Devil.
That's a good one. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, so I'll go back for Disney. I'm gonna go with Aladdin. I had totally forgot about that.
Oh, great movie.
Yeah, totally forgot about that one. For Warner Brothers, there's so many options. But I think I'm gonna go with Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I was thinking at first I was thinking Animaniacs, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna go with Pinky and the Brain. I think
Yeah.
that's where I go. And then
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
the next one is anime?
Other, basically. And no, other. Basically anything that was, American made during that time. Because we both grew up on American cartoons. So, anything from like the
Um
80s or 90s or whatever. Like your Saturday morning
I'm gonna
jams and
go
all that stuff.
way back. I'm gonna go way back. I was watching this on YouTube. Hong Kong Fooey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hong Kong
Yeah, for
Phooey.
some
Yeah, yeah.
reason it popped into my YouTube algorithm, and I was like, oh. So I started. I've watched a couple episodes of that. They have some on
That
YouTube, and
was
I was like, oh,
that
okay,
was a
there you
dog that
go.
goes in like the file cabinet, right? And like becomes like he jumps into like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
file
yeah,
cabinet and
yeah.
then he jumps out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
And it
cool.
was I forgot. It was voiced by this actor. What was his name?
But yeah, no, is that like those old like oh God, was it Hanna-Barbera? Those cartoons like Flintstones and like
Yeah, I think it was
that era.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
Scatman Carruthers was the guy.
oh, is that the guy who talks fast?
You
Is
could
that the fast talking dude? Like or am I
not the
thinking of somebody else?
fast like, but you could tell it was like a he was like a jazz singer, I think he was.
Oh,
But
okay.
you could tell that like it was one of the first cartoons where you could tell it was a black guy doing the voice.
Oh,
So
okay.
it always kind
Okay.
of stuck in my head. Yeah.
Nice, nice, cool. No, that's a deep cut. I love it. I love it. I love that stuff. So for my other, I'm going to go with gosh, there's so many. Like, yeah, if you want to go dig deep into like, that kind of the Hanna-Barbera stuff and everything, like that's a good one.
Oh
I think I'm
yeah.
gonna go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like it's either God, there's like I could have been Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, and all that stuff, but I feel like Ninja Turtles is the one that I really that was my fave of the three, if I had to pick one of the three, and it's tough. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just because like, Cowabunga and all that stuff, dude. Like
Because
pizza.
Cowabunga and all that stuff, dude.
Yeah, man, like, you know,
That's funny.
I could have gone with the Simpsons too, but like, yeah, man, I think Disney owns the Simpsons now, so that would have been weird. But no, Ninja Turtles definitely like, and they've and to go back to like the conversation we had earlier, they've done a good job of rebooting that thing like through the years. They've modernized it to the
Yeah.
point where it's like I can still appreciate the stories that they tell now, even though like I grew up in the 80s and the 90s watching that cartoon. Like I can still appreciate what they do now. And I don't look at it as like, no, man, these aren't my Ninja Turtles. Man, shut up. No, these are Ninja
Yeah,
Turtles. This
yeah.
is the kids' Ninja Turtles. And if it's a good story, I can appreciate it too. So definitely going to go with
Yep.
that. For anime, and I know this is not within your wheelhouse, Jacques. My brother and I, we watched like the Demon Slayer movie. I don't know if you've heard of it. Like it's this big deal now.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I've been meaning to watch it, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
I'll tell you right now, man, like you watch it, you're going to be like, man, that's a lot of cool stuff going on. What's the story again? But it's 2.5 and it's 2.5 hours. Be ready. Be ready. That's the other thing too. It's
Oh wow.
yeah. I did not expect that either. It was 2.5 hours and I was like, yo, what are we doing here?
It's a
But
movie. It's a movie. Yeah.
and they tell a lot of story, but there's also a lot of good fights. And it's just the animation is just top notch stuff. And I'm like, whoo, man, like they put a lot of money into this. And it's funny because like a big story about that coming out of it is like, I think it's made like $600 million globally. And it's made more than like Fantastic Four and Superman and how that's going to affect like how stuff keeps, moving forward. And the thing that I appreciated about those animes is that they tell a story and then they're done. They don't really just keep the thing. They don't keep the ball rolling. Like they have like a story they want to tell. They tell it for like a season or 2 or 3. And then after that, they just move on to the next thing. There's some exceptions, obviously, but I wasn't even going to go with Demon Slayer. I just wanted to point that out. For my pick for the anime is I'm gonna go with Cowboy Bebop, which is everybody's like hoity-toity, fancy, like bougie anime choice. It's like everybody's like first like they evolve from like whatever like and they're like, oh, Cowboy Bebop, that's like the smart person's anime. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but I like the music. I like the jazz music of the show.
Okay.
I love the vibes. Like I'm not one of those like because I like my dumb anime too. Like I love the dumb shows too. So, but like Cowboy Bebop was just the first one. I was like, oh, it can be a little bit more than that. but I don't like, it's not like some pretentious, like for me, like I just think it's really cool. I love the music. I love the vibes of it. And like I said, they just told a story for one season. And I think there was like a movie that came out, but then that was it. Then there was also but then, Hollywood had to go ruin it by making that Netflix show. And we're like, good attempt, but it wasn't like, it didn't live up to like, the anime, but and that's the fear is like this Demon Slayer movie is making like, yeah, but like that's the fear is like these animes are like making like hundreds of millions of dollars in the box office, and like the worry is like Hollywood's gonna get a hold of it, and they're gonna try to like Americanize it, and you're like, nah, man, just let them be.
Always.
That's
how we cook.
That's how we cook. We ruin things.
Funny.
We ruin things. But anyways, yes, anime pick Cowboy Bebop. That was a long tangent, but anyways.
Okay. For me, this is anime-ish. But it was like the first thing that I saw that had the anime style that I watched. So I'm going to go with Boondocks. I know it's not technically anime.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
But it's the first anime thing that I saw, anime-ish sort of thing that I saw that introduced me into the world of anime. So you got to go with Boondocks. It's just like, it's like the best.
Yeah, and it definitely had that style. Like it definitely had that look.
Yeah.
Of like anime, like I don't even know if like maybe they was produced. I actually don't know, but like it definitely had like an anime adjacent style that you're like, oh, you wonder if it was like actually like the animation duties was handled by like a Japanese studio or something like that. It was still like Aaron Magruder, like they were the guys who were still writing it, right? They were still the dudes like writing the show, but yeah, like definitely like the style of it. And now that you mentioned the Boondocks, now I have to remember that bit, like the Usher. Like that whole Usher storyline is like just wild. It's like, oh God. And apparently it's based on a true story. It's like, oh, wow. Damn. No wonder it was so vivid. It's because it was actually based on something that happened in real life or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That show is so good.
Yeah,
so
it's really good.
And then what's the last category?
Wild card. Basically anything you can think of, any cartoon thing that you can think of.
So I think I want to say Transformers, but I feel like that's the easy answer. So I'm gonna go with a little I guess it's not really off the beaten path. I'm gonna go with He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Yeah,
I was really into that as a kid.
Yeah. He-Man was definitely good. Like I remember I had the toy, like the Castle Grayskull toy. And I had He-Man and all that stuff. And I had Battle Cat. Battle Cat was like my favorite character of all the bunch. Like he was such a wuss as like a cat. But then once he puts on the armor, you're like, oh, he's a badass and all that stuff. I remember that.
Yeah, he's a badass. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely had those toys as a kid. So yeah, I definitely had like an appreciation for He-Man as well. Skeletor, also like, iconic villain. Pops up from time to time nowadays because people love that voice, that just like that raspy, annoying voice. That is definitely like people just love to like copy that. Yeah, totally. So yeah, no, shout out He-Man. That's a good one.
There's so many good ones.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so you skipped Transformers, and that was probably gonna be my wild card pick, but I'm gonna get super specific with it. I'm going to go with the Transformers, but the Transformers movie, but only the first 15 minutes of the movie. And here's why.
What?
I hate the rest of that movie. Basically, I don't like. Do you know the character Rodimus Prime? Basically, the one who becomes the Prime after Optimus Prime bites it in like that. You remember the Transformers movie when Optimus Prime basically dies? He gets basically murdered by Megatron and whatnot, and like Hot Rod is the character that becomes Rodimus Prime. I hate Rodimus Prime. Like that character sucks. So for me, the first 15 minutes of that Transformers, and also it's low-key traumatizing, man, because I don't know if you remember that movie. They kill off so many Transformers in like the first 15 minutes. Like all these characters that you remember watching the cartoon, you're like, oh my gosh, they killed blah, 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 and so. And then you're like, they killed Ironhide. And I'm like, good, Ironhide sucks. So that everything else though was like, it was just crazy. It was just like mind blowing to me that you can off like a cartoon character. You're like, that can't
characters.
That's crazy, man.
I know.
But
we'll
then
have
like
to go back and watch those.
Yeah, no, just watch the first 15 minutes, and after that, it's just garbage. Basically, watch it until like Optimus Prime dies. But also part of that sequence is the Stan Bush song, Dare and like The Touch. Like, I don't know if you remember that song. Basically, it plays when like
I don't.
Optimus. Yeah, like once you hear it, you're like, oh, I get why Juan's into this. It's so corny and cheesy, but it's hilarious. But like the first 15 minutes, like it's Decepticons are basically murdering Autobots, and then they end up in Autobot City. And then like, Optimus Prime is like elsewhere. But then like once he shows up, you hear like that song playing, and then like he shows up and he just starts murdering fools. Like just being like the badass that he is. Optimus Prime is like the coolest, like, Transformer of all time. But then,
agreed.
He fights Megatron and yada yada, and Hot Rod just tries to barge in, tries to like, be the hero and all that stuff. He messes up. It accidentally gets Optimus Prime killed, basically. So screw Rodimus Prime is basically what I'm getting at.
All right.
But
all right, I'm gonna have to go watch it again now.
Yeah. No. That first 15 minutes, amazing stuff. Everything else is just, I can just do without it.
All right. No, it's always good to watch this stuff as an adult because you see it through different eyes. So I need to watch it again now that you say it.
Also, shout out the Dinobots. I also love those as a kid, man. Those like Grimlock.
Shout out
and
to
all
the
those.
Dinobots.
Hell yeah, those were awesome too. That is it for episode 57 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I'm your co-host Juan Martinez, and now with the shameless plugs, it's Jacques Slade.
Yes, I am Jacques Slade. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I told you it was far-ranging topics today. A lot of different things.
We went places.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, make sure you leave us a great review. Make sure you share things like that because it definitely helps us out and helps spread the podcast so more people know about it, which is what we want, and we hope is what you want as well, so more people get to tune in to all the things that we're doing here on this show. If you want to shoot us an email, it's toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com, toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. The letter 2, not the word 2. You know what I'm saying. All right, y'all. We appreciate you. Make sure you do all the good things, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Happy Filipino Heritage Month.